Hello, this is James Hall, Session 5 Final Assignment for Organization and Work Group Dynamics on November the 7th, 2021. For this final assignment, I will be talking about the mail-in ballot voting and the vote-by-mail working group that I'm currently leading here in Lassen County. The thought here is that equal rights and access for voting are given to all voters. The current pandemic declaration in place in the state of California has caused many public and private sectors to look at ways to meet the needs of individual citizens while following the laws that have been enacted and provide direction, while the national media would like to suggest that the mail-in ballot voting process is easily tampered with or fraud could be committed. It is vital to remember that the discussion should not be answered or viewed by party affiliation, but by providing equitable access and support to all voters in the state that could be sustained for a long period of time. The agenda could not be driven by political party affiliation, but must address equality, sustainability, and access of voters. We must look at the facts and make the best educated decision possible. Here in Lassen County, the mail-in ballot voting process is simple. All registered voters are mailed a ballot 29 days before the election. In that ballot is in that envelope is the official ballot for voting, a return envelope with postage paid, an instruction sheet, and hopes to help the voter with their ballot processing. The state of California will, at the same time, be sending out an official voter information guide to every active registered voter household in the state of California. This information is sent from the Secretary of State's office. Lassen County has successfully just completed a recall election where they utilized this project for all voters in the state. And so it's important for us to analyze what that kind of looked like. What we see here is that state law required voters to vote by mail. In a move to increase this democracy and enfranchise more voters to go to the polls during the pandemic and beyond, the governor signed AB 37 in California in 2021 on September the 27th. This law will further enact that all registered voters in the state of California will receive a vote-by-mail ballot 29 days prior to any election in the state of California. There are some things to note in the safe voting process that is currently utilized in the state of California. There is a simple process to follow this that ensures that there is safe and secure handling of all ballots. Ballots are, number one, mailed to voters. They are mailed 29 days to each voter. Voters can return their ballot via mail or by dropping the ballot off at an approved assistance center. Here in Lassen County, there is an approved assistance center in Susanville at the Lassen County Clerk Recorder's Office in the old courthouse, a drop-off box that you can drive by that is a locked, secure box where you may deposit your vote-by-mail ballot. In Herlong, you can go to the Fort Sage Family Resource Center and get assistance and also utilize the assistance drop box for that location in South County. In the North County, in Beaver, you can go to the Beaver Family Resource Center, and there's an assistance center set up there as well. And you can drop your box and get assistance with voting by mail. You can go in Westwood to the Westwood Family Resource Center in Westwood, and they also are able to assist you in getting your ballot mailed or completed at that time. Then what happens is once those have either been dropped into the assistance box, dropped off at the drop box at the clerk recorder's office, or mailed, the county clerk recorder will verify the signatures on the envelope and prepare to process or to reject the ballot. Should a ballot be rejected because signatures do not look close, the clerk recorder will send out a letter that gives instructions on how to complete and to get your ballot to go through the entire process and not be rejected any longer. It's important that should that letter arrive, that you read it, complete it, or go to an assistance center and have them read it to you, assist you, and get that process as quickly as possible, as there's a short time frame after each election for this process to take place. Once that is done and your ballot has been prepared to process, the ballot is processed and it is counted as an official ballot in the election that it was just completed. There's also some other interesting information for us to note, and that is in regards to the rural county representatives of California. They sent a letter in support of Senate Bill 29 that was the similar bill to AB 37, which was signed by the governor of the state of California in the assembly. The rural county representatives of California support the expansion to vote by mail balloting, noting that 37 out of 58 California counties, with Lassen County being a member county of this group, currently utilizes vote by mail balloting. They also have long supported expanding this practice, that this would be able to heighten the opportunity and the ability of counties to conduct elections via vote by mail balloting. With the support of the RCRCs, they also support the voting by mail balloting, which also heightens the work that is due to the health and safety concerns caused by the coronavirus pandemic. And they believe that this is the best way for people to vote, not only during the pandemic, but also after the pandemic, as already 37, like I said, of 58 counties already currently participate in a similar methodology of voting. Change is difficult, however. Levi states, it is an arduous task for traditional control-oriented culture to change enough to promote good teamwork. The changes signed into law dealt a blow to the established process that had been used for a long period of time. The value and the effects of the change may not be seen immediately, but it does not mean that it will not be sustainable or more equitable for the voters today. It also doesn't mean that that was an unsafe practice, but what we know is that it's very difficult to get people to change from one way of thinking to another. So the work has already been done in legislation. Now it's an education and support process that must be put into place in order to ensure that voters feel connected and able to succeed. It's important for us to not get stuck in the media spin of today, but to follow the plans that have been placed before us. Be who God called us to be, and we will see his plans unfold and the victories won. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue that will produce the results that we want to see. Reverend Samuel Rodriguez says that we should be, as Christians, desiring to follow the Lamb's agenda in his book, The Lamb's Agenda, published in 2013. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. I believe that if we look at the Lamb's agenda and we begin to follow the processes that have been put into place, we will see the victories that are won. Thank you for allowing me to give you an update on our vote by mail work group. My contact information is here on this slide for you should you have more questions or you desire more information. I would also like to share with you the references from the work that is cited here in our presentation today. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we continue to move forward in such a way that we follow the plans that have been laid before us. Thank you for your time today.